What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Darian Jones of Honor Kings and Sons TV podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you who are new to my podcast, you can follow me on all social media platforms. That includes Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you type Honor Kings and Sons on all of those platforms, you will see my content pop up. I have two YouTube channels. If you type in at Honor Kings and Sons TV, you will find my YouTube channel where my podcast audio clips are uploaded. And I'm working on getting some new in-person video clips. And also, if you type in at DJonesHKS, that's my entertainment page. I like to put a lot of funny videos out, to give people a laugh throughout the week. So make sure that you subscribe to both those pages. My goal is to have 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So it's going to take, a lot of work to get it done. But I'm looking to you guys to help out by subscribing and getting your friends to subscribe as well. So I want to definitely jump into today's topic. But before that, I want to give a special shout out to some new regions that have been tuning into my podcast. I've been seeing Southeast Asia. I had some new people in California, Canada, and Switzerland, and Austria as well. Not Austria, I'm sorry, Australia, that have tuned in to the podcast. Just want to give you guys, a big shout out. Thank you so much for downloading the podcast. And definitely, I want you guys to join my Discord. I've been dropping a link in the description in my videos that appear on YouTube. But, people, throughout the day, they're busy. They haven't probably gotten a chance to look at the description. So you guys take a look at the description. You'll see my links are there for all my social media sites. I do not have an X account. It's funny because technically I do when it was still called Twitter, but I have to, revisit that account. So I'm going to do my best to try to make sure I do that before the summer is over. And I want to start putting my content up on X as well. So definitely you guys stay tuned for that. So I want to get into today's topic. Let me tell you, I'm excited to speak on it. I'm definitely going to end up doing a part two, maybe a part three, on this topic. So bear with me. But this is talking about Stone Age values in a new world of AI and technological euphoria. This is a big topic right now in many, 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 many circles. It's being discussed, and it's crazy because how I formatted the title, I wanted to really paint a strong umbrella, if you will, or strong drape, if you will, to really cover the full scope of this issue or this topic at hand in the world. Families all over, the world, individuals. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a human being on this planet, you are, struggling and battling with this issue. Is how do I address the fact that I have specific values or certain values that I grew up instilled into me? How do I, hold on to those values? How do I make use of those values in a world that is changing drastically? And soon a new world is going to be here. And in that new world, there may not be any need for some of these values that I hold. So, first off, we want to talk about what is considered Stone Age. So I coined Stone Age as really just talking about traditional values, right? But we want to be able to distinguish and understand what do we mean by traditional values, because there can be a tradition to create traditional values, right? A group of people, a civilization, It can be something that's a part of them where if they create something, the goal is to pass it down so that people in the future can benefit from the system, from an ideology, from a structure, right? So you can have that, but then there can come a point where there is literally no need for it. It serves no purpose. As a matter of fact, because of what now exists, that behavior, that action, that tool, that skill set, it will just go extinct. So that's what we have in this present day and age is the world is changing. The world is a totally different place from 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, the 2000s. Now we are in 2024, and the year is, we're at the halfway mark. And before you know it, we're going to go into 2025. And a lot of my content, I'm going to start gearing to talking about 2025 and beyond because it's there's just so much that's about to happen. And the question is now is that what are we going to do? Are we going to hold on to our traditional values, or are we going to have to start preparing ourselves for a new era, a new world that's going to come into play? And in that new world, what would be deemed the new traditional values? With the presence of AI, there is so many career changes that people have had to make. There's so many industries that have been revamped. There's opportunities for new careers that people can get a hold of. And with that, it changes the family dynamic. It changes the financial ability. And if you check my previous videos, I talk about the difference between being financially able, being financially stable, and being financially literate, right? Not in that order. But I talk about that because this is something that a lot of families, a lot of single people, even entrepreneurs have had to make sure that they have created the proper perspective so that they can go after what they want, but make sure that they have the endurance and the ability to do so. And so, think about it, right? Let's go back to the family. Let's go back to the husband, the wife, and the children. Doesn't matter if it's a married couple and they have one kid or they have nine kids, right? Even if it's a newlywed couple, in today's day in 2024, right, there are certain values that are now becoming questionable, not because they've lost their purity, not because they've lost their essence, but simply it's the significance, it's the need, it's the commodity, it's the what would you say? Not necessarily, uh, you know, is it something that's going to serve a purpose? So prime example would be this, right? There are a lot of married couples that have switched from public school to private education or home education or virtual schooling, right? In the last 30 years, I'm 34 years old. I was born in 1990. So I can tell you in the last 30 years, what has happened in the school system in terms of just rigorous academic instruction, safety, teacher retention, student enrollment, financial availability of funds for programs and electives and activities. Those things have just gone down to nothing. Each category has gone down to nothing. And so, with that happening, now you have parents being faced with, okay, how does my child remain safe but be an environment to learn? How does my child have the skills that they need to get through life? If my child wants to go to college, how do I get them there? How do I prepare them? These are the questions that parents have to ask So now the tradition of my kid going from K through 12 in public school, is that tradition going to end? Are we going to do homeschool? Are we going to send our kids to college? We have little babies. Are we going to send them to daycare? Well, you can't, because now inflation has made daycare so expensive. And then on top of that, there's many places where the safety and negligence cases, domestic cases, have gone through the roof. There have been cases where staff have assaulted children. There have been cases where children have died, and this is something that has always happened, in terms of not that it always, but that it can. But in recent years, these cases have gone up, and the exposure of them have gone up. So it raises concern. We just have to, start to ask ourselves, what are we going to hold on to? If you're a person that you believe, working for a company, working in person, are you going to continue to do that? You have to ask yourself that question. And when it comes to who's financially responsible, should one person go to work and one person stay home? Should both people go to work? How whose health insurance policy are we going to be under? Who's going to be able to carry the financial load? How many cars should we own because of inflation? What is our housing situation going to look like? Should we start a business, or should everybody just, work harder at their jobs? There's just so many questions that people have to ask. Me, being a faith-based platform, for those of you, your first time tuning in to Honor Kings and Sons, this is the faith-based platform, and we do speak about providing a biblical worldview through every single subject that we talk about. So if you're a person going to church in the 21st century, you might, you grew up, and, you're used to having a pastor who's in his 50s and 60s or even 70 years old, used to, church choirs and old hymns. You're used to dirt road churches. You're used to all of that stuff. And now you move to the inner city, or you move to a different state, and it's more upbeat. It's more young people there, and there's lights, there's cameras, there's social media, there's everybody's driving a fancy car. There's just so many different things. And then now the new wave is to do 100% ministry and evangelism and community stuff through the internet. Some people, it's uncomfortable for them, because the internet is a public place. There is no privacy at all. If you get yourself involved with the internet or social media, you no longer have any privacy. People will find ways to dig up your life. So it's just one of those things. So now people have to start asking them questions like, what is it that's going to be important to our family? What is it that's not going to be important? We have to cast this away. It will no longer be a part of our lives. This is a question that a lot of people are going to have to start asking, because soon AI will be here, and it will be permanent, meaning you will see a robot like machines that are mobile in stores, not just the stationary ones like, just for humor. If you look back in movies from the 1970s and 80s, you had the talking coffee machine, or you had the talking mailbox. Now you actually have that, right, where it doesn't look so much robot like, but it's upgraded, and now soon they're gonna be having, mobile robots that are in the form of different animals. This is gonna be robots that soon are gonna be able to handle mass machinery, even handle cars. And so, um, what is it that we are going to maintain when it comes to interacting with a world where there's more machinery that is operating in the place of the human function? these are questions that we have to ask. And what's funny is some people will say, well, we've already had these questions. We had these talks back in 2000 when people were talking about the world is going to change with more technology and so on. So, but it's been 25 years, almost 25 years since the year 2000, and a lot of technology had not been in the general public that was for everyday use. It was being spoon fed to us bit by bit. So now we are going to reach a place where we're going to see it more often. But I can guarantee you the way that it's going to hit us, we will not be 100% ready. And it's been almost 25 years. So imagine if people weren't ready back then, right? And we're in a state where things are more difficult. The debt of the United States of America has gone through the roof. New bills are being proposed every single day. New laws. Our presidential candidates are making claims that are so obscene, just to get votes. You know, I'm going to be talking about this in a video later. I didn't want to mention it now, but I'll mention it. A bill was passed about the age group for the draft, which has now become 18 to 24. And a lot of uproar and ruckus has started because of that. So there's so much that's going on, that, you know, it's causing people to have to really start to ask questions. What is it that we're really going to care about? What is it that we're going to not? But I will tell you this, no matter what changes in this world, always be kind to people. Always be nice. Always be sharing, caring. Always discern right from wrong. Always lend a helping hand. Always show empathy over sympathy. And never allow yourself to be so cold hearted that you wouldn't be able to sacrifice, for the greater good. Right? I believe that's should be something that should never be compromised. And of course, you know, love your neighbor as you love yourself. But, you know, things are going to heat up very soon, and we have to be prepared. Some people, I don't think, are going to take it well, uh, and this is just how life is. But if we can get a head start, I think it will better prepare us for when the tough times do come in this new way of life where we have AI and we have technology taking a stronger foothold in our daily lives, and we have these new systems, that maybe, you know, they may work for us for a season, or they may start to work against us when it comes to, people being able to financially thrive and take care of their families. So more to come on this topic. I know I'm going to be having a part two, a part three to this for sure, but this is just where I want to, you know, set the foundation for this topic. So you guys definitely go to the comments, you know, let me know what you take. You know, are there any Stone Age values that, you know, you and your family hold dear, and you feel that, it's going to be very difficult to continue to uphold those values as the world is changing? You know, and let me know your standpoint on AI. Let me know, do you think that this technological euphoria that we're moving towards is really going to be beneficial for mankind? You know, so I want to be able to hear these comments, and I want you guys to be able to follow me on social media. Remember, at Honor Kings and Sons on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and Instagram. I want you guys to be able to follow me so we can continue to talk this discussion. This is Darian Jones, Honor Kings and Sons TV podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, be easy.